A firestorm ignited when they first clashed in an argument about the architectural achievements of Atlantis, the mythical continent that only Leah believed in, and Kai categorically denied. Their love was fast and fierce. She showed him old engravings of lost temples. He drew futuristic cities where humans lived in harmony with nature. They married within 6 months, ignoring jokes about Atlantis's illusions. Kai adored her belief in miracles. Leah admired his ability to build dreams. Their home was an old stone villa on a cliff, which Kai transformed into a masterpiece with glass walls. He designed an observatory for her to study star maps, which, according to her theory, held the keys to Atlantis. Leah organized his massive library, finding forgotten books that made Kai smile at her eccentricities. Every year, Leah searched for traces of Atlantis from the Andes to Egypt. Kai accompanied her, capturing the beauty of the landscapes, not her fantasies. The problem didn't come from the outside but from within. Leah sank deeper into her research. Atlantis became an obsession, a quiet mania. She began to see signs in every pattern. She spent nights in the observatory, drawing diagrams that Kai considered a bizarre jumble of lines. "You'll get lost in there, Leah," Kai said one day. "Or I'll find something that changes the world," she replied. "You don't understand, Kai. You only see what you can touch." That phrase became the first crack in their glass wall. Kai began to feel like an outsider. Our conversations became shallow. Atlantis was no longer mentioned. It was their taboo. The breaking point came when Leah was asked to lead an expedition to the Arctic, where satellite imagery detected strange structures under the ice. This was her chance. Kai was dead set against it. "It's dangerous, Leah. Madness. You could die in the ice for the sake of a myth." "It's not a myth, it's the meaning of my life. You've always seen me as just a part of your perfect picture." Her voice cracked into a scream. It was their first real fight, where they said things that could never be taken back. Leah accused Kai of stifling her dreams. Kai accused Leah of selfishness. "Then go," he shouted. "Go find your Atlantis, but don't expect me to wait forever." She left, taking only an old leather notebook and a compass pendant Kai had given her. They parted without tears. Just a slamming door and an emptiness that filled their home. Lee's expedition lasted nearly 2 years. Every few months, brief messages came about technical difficulties and being close to a breakthrough. Kai, left alone, buried himself in work. He was designing an eco-skyscraper, his masterpiece. He was successful, but hollow. Then the news broke. Lee's expedition had vanished. All that remained was a broken transmitter and a few frozen notes. Search operations yielded nothing. Leah was declared missing, presumed dead. Kai refused to accept it. His world shattered. The house became a museum of her presence. He abandoned his projects and cut himself off from the world. He started reading her books, trying to find her logic. Maybe Atlantis wasn't just a myth. He began investigating her theories like a madman, seeking answers. He became the very eccentric she had once called him. 5 years passed. Kai stood on the veranda, watching the sunset. He was a different man. His architectural designs now featured ancient elements. His buildings had a strange, almost magical appeal. Suddenly, the phone rang. The number was unknown. "Kai?" A quiet, raspy voice whispered. "It's Leah." His world stopped again. She was alive in a small fishing shack in northern Canada, exhausted but alive. She told an incredible story. They had found traces of Atlantis, an ancient observatory under the ice thousands of years ahead of our civilization. "They were hunting us, Kai. I had to fake my death to survive. You didn't tell me." 5 years, Lee. Do you have any idea what I went through?" His voice was thick with anger and pain. "I couldn't risk your life." She asked him to come and design a sanctuary for the data she brought back. He found her older, with a scar on her cheek, but with the same eyes burning with faith. They returned to their cliffside villa, but it wasn't a happy reunion. Leah brought back a strange artifact, a heavy, translucent disc covered in glowing geometric patterns. "This is the core," she whispered. "The blueprints of a city that doesn't belong to this world." Kai looked at it and felt a cold shiver. The disc wasn't just ancient, it was alive. He realized that Leah hadn't just found ruins, she had brought something back that was still active. Kai began designing the sanctuary, but the more he worked on the plans, the more he realized the geometry was impossible. It wasn't a building, it was a machine. "Leave this structure. It focuses energy on a single point," Kai said, pointing at the blueprints. "What exactly are we building?" She didn't look at him. "A bridge, Kai. Atlantis wasn't a continent that sank. It was a civilization that moved to another dimension. And they want to come back." The realization hit Kai like a physical blow. Leah hadn't faked her death to protect him. She had been working for them all along. The expedition didn't vanish. It was a sacrifice to open the first gate. "You used me," Kai whispered, his voice trembling. "You needed an architect who could translate their impossible math into our physical reality. You needed me to build the door." Leah finally looked at him, and for a second, he saw a flash of the woman he once loved. "I did it for us, Kylie. In their world, there is no death, no time. We could be together forever." But as she spoke, the translucent disc began to hum, and the glass walls of the villa started to vibrate. The sky outside turned a deep, unnatural violet. A portal began to tear through the center of the observatory Kai had built for her. He looked at his hands and saw them beginning to glow with the same blue light. He wasn't just the architect. He was the key. Kai had a choice: finish the activation and join a world of gods, or destroy his masterpiece and everything he loved. He looked at Lior, whatever was left of her, and reached for the main console. "I'm sorry, Lie. I'm an architect of this world, not theirs." With a roar of collapsing glass, the villa on the cliff vanished into the sea. Now, only a lonely lighthouse stands there, and people say that on stormy nights, you can still hear a man's voice calling for a lost queen.